Good stuff. Hi, Jonathan. How you doing? Probably stepped away. Howdy. You're on mute by default there, Jonathan. I think you can turn that off if you want. Joe, maybe we can just
There we go. Am I in?
You are in. You've made it.
That wasn't embarrassing at all, was it?
No, you're good.
Excuse me a second. I'm just going to close my office door. Sorry.
Sure.
So I wasn't quite sure how interactive this was going to be. I didn't know if this was a sort of a sit back and watch kind of thing, or are we deeply involved in a discussion kind of a thing?
More the former, I think, Jonathan.
More the former. No, that's fair enough. So I was quite surprised. Obviously, I was expecting there to be thousands of people in this, and we just all sat back anonymously and didn't really take part.
There's a few sitting there in the background, but I think people are just sort of joining in. So
okay. No, that's cool. Well, look, feel free to mute me when you get fed up with my whiny British accent.
We will, not at all, but we will. I'm sure we will. Very good. And Nathan, you and I can chat while keep people entertained while they roll in. How have you been? Good.
Okay. Yeah, really good. Really good. It's amazing to see how fast the year's gone. Seems like we'd only just clocked into a new year. Now we're on the downward slide into the end of this year.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was just Christmas not long ago, but it seems like that was 6 months ago, and it's gone by pretty fast. You're right, very much so.
Yeah, that's bad. Have you got any plans for the upcoming conference season? Or suppose we're
the conference season, yeah. So ZenContract's going to be, we're one of the headliners at ARN Edge, which is over in the Gold Coast at the end of July. I'm doing a main speaking gig on the benefits of not being contract complacent. Can always dive in and see what that is. But the notion of actually taking contracts seriously and the benefits it can have to business. So we've got that coming up, then IT Nation in August, and then we're part of the Pitch It program with ConnectWise. So we're doing that potentially in Orlando, November. So I haven't done much travel the last 6 months, but certainly looks like we're going to get back into it. How about you?
I've got we're presenting at the conference in Sydney, which is that November? October. So we're presenting it. We've got a presence at that DeltaCon, and then the team are heading it across to Miami this year. Unfortunately, I'm unavailable for that one, but is that I think that's September, isn't it?
Yeah, even maybe a little bit later. It might be November. But why don't we get underway? So today, obviously, as you can see on screen, we're talking about, this is the MSP Mastermind Hour, and we're talking about from contracts to cash. So that concept really of having a contract, getting it signed, the automated flow from there into the PSA, getting it built, and then through to the lovely notion of getting a payment link set up and receiving those funds into your account, potentially all the way being triggered from a signature right through to having the contract built is what the ZenContract solution does now. And then the next iteration will be to automatically send out a payment link and clear the payment and then have that payment set up on a recurring basis, all with the one click of a button. Would be certainly pertinent before we get into introductions and then housekeeping to let the viewers know and any people that are going to listen to this at another time that our companies have come closer together with mutual investment, and we're going to be looking at bringing the platforms together to ultimately get that vision that goes right from signature contract all the way through to cash. So to that end, we've got on the webinar today with me is none other than Mr. Nathan Dunn, who's head of product at Cloud Depot. So welcome on board.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Very good. Why don't you just introduce yourself for people that haven't heard of yourself or Cloud Depot before, and just give us a little bit of an overview.
Sure. So we are primarily a bit of middleware that sits between Autotask and Xero. We were born out of a partnership with a Sydney-based MSP. We are an Aussie company, and he was looking for some automation that would synchronize his accounting data between his PSA and his accounting package, and so we built that, and I think that was 9 or 10 years ago now. So we support and look after hundreds of MSPs globally, helping them get their seamlessly getting their invoicing data out of Autotask and then getting that into Xero. So yeah, I manage the product here at Cloud Depot. We are a nice small team, and yeah, we save hours, our MSPs hours of time by not having to rekey in their accounting information from one system into the other. So yeah.
I think it's near on 10 years since you and I first met. So I had an MSP called Base 2. We used My Accounting Toolbox. This is what it was called back then. And we first met all those years ago, traveling conferences over to Miami with regard to Autotask. So you guys are well regarded and well known as the best company to be able to get data seamlessly in and out of Autotask to Xero, right? So that's your bread and butter.
Yes, true.
And then which I thought was recently, but actually all of that not recently thing goes out the window with old COVID, wasn't it? But so even pre-COVID, you guys started building a recurring payment system. So your RPS, which is obviously what we're going to be diving into a little bit more today.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, it was really born. RPS was really born out of lots of conversations that we've had at conferences with various MSP owners about some of their pain points around automating payments and setting their clients up on sort of auto pay so that they're not having to chase them every month, and also having some smarts around these are the invoices that are part of their recurring service contract, so we want those billed, but any sort of project or other one-off support work the client potentially doesn't want that automatically billed. So having the flexibility to apply to lots of different businesses and being able to automate that so you can concentrate on the the more exciting project work, I suppose, or without having to have the day-to-day grind of having to follow up late payments.
Fabulous. Joe, if you're listening, would you be able to get that infographic back up on the screen now? Because that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the day. I sold my MSP, near on 2 years ago, actually almost 3 years ago now to Cordia in New Zealand. And I know that we spent an incredibly large amount of time either clearing payments or setting up direct debits or all that sort of thing. So talk us through, obviously the orange/yellow portion of that's underneath Cloud Depot, the data sync, and then how does the recurring payment serve? What's the difference between the two bits and pieces there?
Okay. So the data sync works really simply. There's an online process. You sign up with us. It's all very straightforward. You grant us access to Autotask and Xero through their various security mechanisms. Once it's set up, we just sit in the background. There's a lot of complexity that we have behind the scenes. And so we will then grab your various bits of accounting information, like the company, and then all the different items on the invoice numbers, all those sort of things. And then sync all that data through to Xero, to your accounting system, and then you can then process and do your different reports and send out statements and invoices from there. What the recurring payment service does is it allows you to, from those invoices, once the customer has clicked in and seen your latest monthly invoice, set up their own payment preferences around whether they want to do a one-off credit card payment, or they could do a one-off direct debit. And then also the ability to save that payment method going forward. So if they do a one-off credit card, it will say, do you want us to save this going forward? And then they can save that. So then every month their recurring managed service contracts will just automatically bill on the date it's due. So typically our MSPs bill end of the month or beginning of the month. And then let's say it's due the 10th. They get that invoice. They've got a bit of a period to check in with you to make sure that they're happy with how it looks. And then automatically on the 10th, we will then charge their preferred payment method, and then send your accounts department a receipt that it's done, send them a receipt, and then you move on. And as I said just earlier, any sort of one-off project work or anything that's outside the norm, you can set it up so our system won't automatically bill those, because if you did a one-off bit of project work that's worth quite a bit of money, clients probably not going to be so happy if you try to put that through on a credit card. They prefer to handle that through another means of payment. So
Correct me if I'm wrong. So you can set up recurring payments. You can set up a one-off payment link and
Correct.
send that link over. And then you can store those details so that if you wanted to charge that again and they said, hey, you've got our credit card details, just put it on our credit card, away you go. You could use that as a payment methodology. But I'm led to believe that you can also set up a direct debit.
Correct. Yeah, so the thing with the direct debits is the fact that it is an electronic, it's all an online system, so that you don't have to, you're not sending them PDFs, you're not emailing them out things to sign that they've got to send back again. They get a digital form, and then they can fill that in online and go from there. So and it's really straightforward. It's all
just one second. We've got a few people online that are saying they're battling to hear you. So, and I know you're probably talking loud, but why don't you just yell for the rest of us? But nice and loud.
Okay, let me just try and change to my. Is that any?
Oh yeah, that's way. That's double thumbs up. That works as good as your platform. There you go.
How about now? Does it?
Yeah, perfect. You're on mute. Come off mute.
Oh man, not having a great morning for me.
No, you're perfect. Just as you were. So yeah, go through the direct debit stuff. Anyone that's online, oh, much better. We've got the much better and the thumbs up. We're all good.
Okay, cool.
So it's awesome. The direct debit side of things. So talk us through. You're an MSP owner. You go into the portal. How do you set up a direct debit at a high level?
Yeah, sure. So I suppose one of the things I did forget to mention is we give you a white label portal, so you can use a subdomain such as payonline or secure.mymsp.com. So the client gets redirected through to that. There isn't any branding from us on that. It's got all your branding, all your links to your website there. So the client would just click on one of the invoices, or you can also send them a link out of our portal as part of your onboarding process. So that gets sent to them securely. It's an encrypted link, and it's unique to every one of your customers. Then they would just type in their details. It's as easy as that. So they put in their bank account, their name, which is already copied out of Xero, so we pre-fill in as much as we can. So their name, email address, business name, and then they put in what their bank account details are. Click save, and you're done. It's a very quick, painless process, and it gets away from having to send out PDFs or sign those or scan those sort of things.
And then once you've got through that initial setup phase, you've got the ability to be able to go and do variable or variations on their monthly spend. Let's say, as well as I do in the MSP world, you might take on a new customer for 30 users, but pretty soon they go to 33, and then they might be at 34 and 35. You can manage the process of doing a change to their monthly recurring revenue via this portal rather than doing it manually, correctly?
Correct. Yeah. So when our system goes through and looking at the invoices based on we've got a rules or a payment rules engine that you set up that you can make as complicated or as uncomplicated as you want. So if you had a 30 user client that they're paying you whatever X a month, that would automatically get charged on the due date. Then the following month, if that invoice goes up or goes down, we seamlessly adjust that direct debit, so then they get billed exactly what this month's invoice is, and then if the following month it changes again, it changes automatically for you. So you're not having to remember to up or down someone's direct debit, or if it's an automatic credit card payment, same sort of thing. We will do that all for you, so you don't have to worry about remembering that, oh, I need to put this up this month because the client's bought more services from me.
If I'm wrong, I think I'm hearing a few financial controllers or finance managers and MSPs, whoever's listening to this or listening to it in the future, will be having a massive smile on their face, right? Because that is a real pain point.
Yeah, it's not such a great experience for the client either, because they've received an invoice they were expecting to get charged for that amount, and especially if things drop down, they're not wanting to get charged at a higher amount. Or let's say if you applied a one-off credit to their monthly bill for whatever reason, they want to make sure that they get billed at the amount that invoice was. So yeah, we've spent a lot of time, as I said, chatting at conferences with various MSP owners about what are their pain points, and it was that sort of thing. Is we want to be able to set up those invoices so they just go out every month, and we want our clients to get charged automatically on the day they're due,
and we don't want to have to think about it. And that's what the RPS service does. It's really easy to get the client set up, and then once they're done, set and forget, it will just bill them on the day that they're due, and you can concentrate on the other parts of your business.
Fabulous. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of the process now, right? So you've got either a new client or an existing client. You want to send them out a contract. We use a template. It's got e-signatures on it. It knows pricing on there, and it knows that pricing from your Autotask or ConnectWise for that matter, and it builds that contract. It automatically builds that contract into the PSA, which is obviously going to result in the end of month on creating an invoice, which automatically flows through into the portal, which gets you a variable invoice. So you're getting a lot of flow right from the beginning of signatures all the way through to billing at the end of the month on a variable basis. And that's why we thought that bringing these two solutions together, and we've been really transparent. We've done it as a strategic investment. No one company's bought another company, but we've got some common ownership between the two platforms, and we're talking about doing this in a way where we're going to bring the technologies together, because we have a white label portal for all the contracts. You have a white label portal for all the payments, but that's a customer end portal. When we send out that contract and it gets signed, we're then going to have the ability to be able to have a link that will send out a link to their portal to be able to go and set up the direct debit or go and set up the payment. That's in the to-do list. That's not out of the box straight away. We're just announcing the fact that the two companies are coming together and talking about how they can seamlessly work as two technologies. But we are going to provide a linkage between the two, and it will be on that executed template with their link. So that way you'll have right from signature, automation, build the contract, workflow, sort out the payment, customer sets up the payment, finance teams are happy, and all of the procurement and project teams know about the new client and to be set up. So it's, a lot of time can be saved.
Yeah, I've had these conversations with a fair few MSPs already where they're looking at trying to streamline these sort of things, and they're going for, they say to their new clients, it actually says, that they're saying to their new clients, hey, look, we're going to onboard you. The way we can keep competitive and our pricing low is by offering you a direct debit. So it's just part of that process. As you said, Greg, you go through, sign it, put in a direct debit, and then, you do get a chance to review the invoice because we send it on the 1st, it's due on the 15th or the 20th or whatever your payment terms are. So the client does have the ability to review it, but it will just get it automatically charged. So it's easy for the client because they're not having to think about it. It's easy for you as MSP because you haven't got all these outstanding invoices, so that you're funding, your clients in essence, sort of acting a little bit like a bank. So your cash flows improves significantly because that, money's just coming in without the client having to think about it. And
yeah, it must significantly reduce the debtor days, right?
Oh yeah, that's the goal, is that bring those debtor days right down if we can.
Yeah. And if you had, say, a one-off project invoice for, I don't know, 10 grand, make the numbers around it nice and easy, and 10 grand worth of labor or whatever, and they already had a pre-authorized direct debit, you could just send them the link to their portal and they can go and authorize getting it paid via the DD. Is it?
Correct. So you can, with the portal, that the customer, the really nice thing, again, with these discussions that we've had with owners, is they were spending a lot of time with customers being like, I've got a stack of invoices for you because we've done a new office fit out or whatever it is. What do we currently owe you? And the nice thing with our portal is we can show you your invoices that are current, the ones that are unpaid. You can also go in and download copies of old invoices. All this functionality you can switch on and off as you need to, but just sort of making it more customer centric, so that they can go in and grab the documents that they need, rather than having to keep coming back to you to do it. But yeah, you could see all your invoices there. You could pick as many or as few as you want. Say you had 5 or 6 invoices that were due, you could pick 3 or 4 of them, do a one-off direct debit, do a one-off credit card payment. And then once that's done, we then load all those payments, or the success of those payments, into Xero, so it's done. So then also bringing down the amount of work on your bookkeeper or your finance person, whoever's having to sort of reconcile those things after the fact.
Yeah, fantastic. So we will be bringing this to market under the ZenPay logo, right? But I just want to get it very clear here. We're not changing any of the technology. There's no one's bought anyone out. This is 100% powered by Cloud Depot. Even our logo says powered by Cloud Depot. But it's a nice tight integration into get the contracts out there, send out a quote, get it billed, set up a payment portal, and manage the payments that way on a recurring basis. They kind of go hand in glove. You'd agree?
Yeah, totally.
Be a bit hard for you to say anything different right now, wouldn't it? But...
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it doesn't. Not at all, Greg. You're completely wrong. No, it very much does. Very much does.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it and being able to take it out to our wider client base. It's something that has been said logically to us, and we knew it was a place that we're going. And say, hey, you're sending out the contract. It'd be great to be able to get a payment link going, and it just makes so much sense. I know from many years of running an MSP, clearing the payments and getting that stuff set up so that the money on a predictable recurring revenue model, which is what we are, we're providing value on a fixed monthly annuity, and then providing a service, and we're trying to drive the cost of that down. Getting that money in the door and reducing your debtor days, improving cash flow is incredibly important. And so this tool, fantastic for that. We're really excited. So to that end, we're going to open up the floor in a minute. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If anyone wants to just use the chat function to throw a question in there, Joe will monitor those and read those out. If there's any particular questions that you want to feel like you can come off mute and just yell the questions out and have a reasonably interactive discussion. While we've got Nathan here who knows this platform inside and out, and obviously I should know a little bit about ZenContract and how that works. We'd love to take the questions as they come, if there is any.
I was just scrolling through the questions, Greg. Jason was saying that it does work as easy as I've said. It can cope with clients who pay by fund transfer when they've got a direct debit. It would be, yeah. So just to circle back around with the invoice. So yeah, if a client did do an electronic fund transfer and that invoice and it was paid on the day it was due, our system isn't going to pick that invoice and then charge them again, which would really irritate the client. So we look at invoices on the date. So as soon as they're due, we look at them that day, and we also go and recheck them and go, is there still money outstanding? If there isn't money outstanding, we skip the process, or if it's changed. So it's loaded, just before payment, so we can guarantee that is exactly what that invoice is due is what we're going to charge out.
That's great to know. Our Unverified has asked if we can talk about Zen Policy. So Zen Policy is a tool that manages the process of getting cybersecurity policies, remote work policies, any of the particular technology policies that you can think of. We have a library of about 20 of them that are pre-canned and pre-packaged, ready to go. And the Zen Policy platform allows you as an MSP to manage all of your end users' policies on behalf of the company that you're providing services to, and to either build that into the cost of your MSP stack, or to provide to do it externally on a as paid basis on a monthly subscription. We've got MSPs that are doing both, and each time you deploy it to a tenant, no matter how many users or no matter how many policies you have, it's just $25. So there is definitely a flow and a movement of small to medium businesses asking their MSP to start managing the creation, the distribution, and the compliance of those policies. It's coming your way no matter what, long or short term. And so this tool allows you to seamlessly do that. And all the users are synced via Autotask. Cost $25 per tenant per month. So, and it doesn't matter if you're managing the policies for 500 seats, 5 seats, 50 seats, all that type of thing. So, very good.
We have a question on the Q&A channel from Jason Watts. When do you expect to have the full ZenContract and Cloud Depot integrations live? Will it cost more?
Yeah, actually, it won't cost more. So it's going to cost less, and that will apply to existing users of both platforms. We can't do that on behalf of Cloud Depot, but we have some luxury of making a little bit of discount for both by utilizing a cost reduction on the ZenContract platform. We are expecting to have the integration and the automatic link done in the next couple of months. So what are we now? We're going into 1st of July. I'd say by August 30th, there will be the start of an integration, and then that will get more mature during the rest of the year. But yeah, if you were to use the recurring payment system and the sync contract into accounts portions of Cloud Depot and ZenContract, it'll be a 20% reduction on the ZenContract side of things on a monthly basis. So that is the same margin that we get to other channels that we get to come into, and that's exactly what we'll apply here, but we're going to apply that back to the customers. So your monthly subscription for ZenContract would go down by 20% if you're using both tools. All right, that's been recorded here and gone out live now, so just please remind me of it. But that is that'll be an official thing that we'll be posting up on our website within the next week or two, as we're using this sort of announce the fact that we're coming together, and then that'll be the deal and the discount that'll be applied for using both tools. So I'm sure you won't forget, Mr. Watts. That's good. But yeah, that's we're excited about bringing this to market. If there's any questions after this, then greg@zencontract.com, or you can go to our website and just log a ticket from there, or send it through to support@ZenContract. And you can get Nathan at clouddepot.com. Is that correct?
No, it's nathan.dunn@clouddepot.com.
nathan.dunn@clouddepot.com,
all one word. Or just an inquiry through the website will come through to our help desk, and either myself or one of the other team can jump on and grab it. Easy.
Excellent. So clouddepot.com, ZenContract.com. We're really excited to bring those two solutions together. If you use both, 20% reduction on the ZenContract subscription. And so that subscription reduction you can get from today, right? So there's no need to wait, and the linkage between the two platforms will be done within my developers are going to love this, but within 2 months. It's bringing together the unique link that's already there, and from our contract with a client name, and there's a lot of shared information there, so I'm sure that we can get that done. Very good. Thanks for joining me today, Nathan. Really good to have you on. Thank you, Joe, from our team for organising, and we'll bring this to a close. And any follow-up questions, just please ping us an email. So thank you very much for your time. See you all later. Bye-bye.